guys, it's Breckley with a message to fun-bashing language teachers and to fun-loving language teachers. And I'm assuming you're fun because you like to play language games with your students and they're still learning things. We all know that language acquisition is what happens when students are busy understanding messages. But what if the message just sucks, or is at the wrong proficiency level, or there just is no message to be understood? Once in a while, we might plan a lesson that has an activity that doesn't have the best message for language acquisition. And when we collaborate in our departments, online, at conferences, we are always debating the value of activities for acquisition-driven instruction. All activities can possibly provide quality, authentic, comprehensible input, but not all activities are inherently created equal. There is a value spectrum when activities don't by default prioritize communication. And sometimes teachers pick low-quality activities just because they're fun. These activities are super meaningful. Engaging comprehensible reading, authentic live communication on interesting topics, deconstructing stereotypes in the target language, interpersonal conversations with meaningful content, special person interviews. I put this one a little lower because sometimes when I'm interviewing and I'm spontaneously coming up with questions, it's not at the right proficiency level as my students. But then we have these other activities that we incorporate because they break up the monotony, give us a chance to move around, or feel like a game. Fun doesn't always equal less challenging or void of learning, but running dictation might not be the highest value in my class because kids are just running around frantically and they're not always trying to understand what's on the pieces of paper. Whenever we do scavenger hunts, there's kids who just rely on other people to understand what's going on. My students love Just Dance, but I think sometimes they're more focused on their dance moves than what they're listening to. Highlighting words and word clouds is a great way to introduce vocabulary, but it might be better to do it in context. My kids love Kahoot, but if it's just translating and the questions aren't meaningful, I don't know if that's the best use of my time. Wordle, everybody's obsessed. I know it's super popular. I've also heard Wordle is very addictive and addiction runs in my family, so I've never played because I just know I wouldn't be able to stop. Wordle, 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 Wordle. If you never play it, you can't be addicted. Cocaine, Diet Coke, Wordle. The point is that we are professionals, and when we plan our lesson plans, we have to use our time wisely. 45 minutes, 90 minutes, whatever it is, every second counts, bell to bell. Do not waste student learning time, tax dollars, rigor. With that in mind, I'm here to advocate for balance and to defend the teachers who play too many games. But Sarah, why should we include low-value activities? We shouldn't play games just because the students want it. They don't know what they need to learn. By the way, the point I'm making is not that level appropriate quality language plus engagement equals increased comprehension. We already know that. I'm talking about including fun activities once in a while just for the sake of having fun, even though they're not top-tier activities. Here's the deal. I want to be healthy, but I cannot live on brown rice, spinach, sweet potatoes, avocados, and almonds alone. Sometimes I just want a pizza and some cancer juice. And if you're gonna judge me for that, I don't want to hang out with you. Elective teachers, some of your students don't want to hang out with you or your language. Is your class even a graduation requirement? In my district, it's not. Look at the requirements for colleges around you. My state's colleges don't require a language at all. Some of the private ones do. And to get into the most popular competitive state college, you should have multiple years in the same language on your transcript. We do not prioritize language learning. Therefore, our language classes must appear to be easy and fun. Are you a very proud teacher to have an extremely rigorous and challenging class? Does your class have a reputation of being the hardest ever? Do frequent oral exam fears overshadow their interest in communicating? Is it boring because you do the same high-quality activity every single day? Is the homework stupidly all-consuming? Takes them all night? Do you have a reputation for destroying everyone's GPA? They're gonna drop your class. Why would they endure the impossible? Hola, profe. I know I'm past the deadline, but can I get a pass to the counselor's office? I'm gonna drop this. Elective teachers. Students have other options that are also fun and valuable. Animation, ceramics, coding, dance, house flipping, web design. So now they drop your class after a year. And to get another perspective, if you take that 150 hours and you divide it by 8, as in 8 waking hours a day, studying abroad, interacting with other people in the target language. They didn't even spend 3 weeks learning a language. No one would think after 19 days that I had learned a language. I mean, I could think of amazing things that happen in my classroom when I just have Spanish 1 kids and then they don't take my language again, but I'm not talking about that. I'm trying to make a point, so don't get all nasty in the comments. Shh. Yay, you were the best teacher with the most rigorous class. I don't care how amazing and rigorous and focused the class was, or how consistent the use of A+ only activities was. They did not learn Spanish after 1 year, and now it's over. There was no acquisition. For the rest of their lives, all they say is, I can't learn a language. I took Spanish in high school and all I can remember is cerveza, por favor. Of course, we can all think of 1,000 other reasons why they might have dropped your class, but once again, not the point of the video. For some kids, it's that it's too hard. I would know, we've all had this experience. I see Samantha in the hall and I'm like, hey Samantha, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks, got the COVID? And she responds, no, Miss Breckley, I was getting an A- and you were lowering my GPA, so I got it switched. Now I have 3 study halls. We need to convince them that learning a language is a meaningful endeavor. Market your class is interesting. Sell it. Making it fun is just one way we could do that. If a class is fun, it feels achievable. All the effort they put into it might feel more worthwhile well because it's not painful. So maybe to reach your students, you spent 10 minutes a week on a Wordle. They're literally just guessing letters to figure out a word that they might not even know. I don't know how that's meaningful. Or maybe like me, you love to do a Quizlet live before a test. Kids are freaking just like matching words and definitions, running around in groups. I don't know. I could just sit on my butt at my desk like ding 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 ding. Kids get to play on their phones. Love the little Quizlet live song. Yeah, so good. But they also spent 750 hours believing that they could be fluent in another language via meaningful conversations and activities like special person interviews, participating in live, authentic conversations, and spent time with a teacher who cared about their culture and other cultures, and engaged in comprehensible readings. And now they're hooked. And we have way more lifelong language learners because we convinced them in the early years that it was possible. A little bit of fun and a lot of learning. Professional language teachers should not find satisfaction in weeding out the students who think language learning is too hard. Professional language teachers facilitate learning language in many different ways. Connect their students to unique people. Value unique perspectives. Cherish heritage and family traditions. So provided that language learning is still happening, let's stop fun shaming our colleagues. And with language class attrition, you probably should be thanking them for your job. Stop torturing kids with boring impossible task after boring impossible task after boring blah blah blah. Quit boasting about your rigorous class if what you mean is that you're proud that it's too hard for everyone. Now I only have a small class of 5 students who really care. If we build up language lovers, they won't quit. Have no shame because they think it's fun. Just play some stupid games in moderation.